You've said you take cold showers in the morning, correct?
Whenever I take a shower,
It's going to be
yeah.
a Wim
I
Hof
finish
cold one.
with just turning the knob all
Okay.
the way cold for like a minute or two.
What prompts that decision?
Well, at this point, it's identity, right?
Okay.
Did you read Atomic Habits or whatever?
I have the book. I've read a portion of it.
Actually, I'm not even sure if it's in this book, but at the time I was reading a lot about habit forming. And it's a great step when you can shift into identity of like, I'm performing this action just because it's who I am. Really no other reason. It's just it's who I am. I turn the shower cold at the end of every shower. But the purpose behind that was, I was watching some Wim Hof at the time. I really like him, the Iceman breathing guy. Yeah. And that was inspiring. There's some basic, just like health benefits, just makes you feel better. But the thing that really got me to commit to it long term was the notion of being capable of making myself uncomfortable at will.
Okay.
And this goes into how do I make good decisions? I just want to know that I'm capable of making choices that are uncomfortable, maybe even physically painful, because I think that willpower circuit in your brain is generalizable. So me taking cold showers is going to strengthen my resolve in every other situation in my life. I'm pretty sure that's how your brain works, right? Like if you train that muscle to be strong, you're going to be able to just easily make choices that, might be painful. So that was the really inspiring thing. And that's why I still do it. I've been doing it for, has it been 1 or 2 years? It might actually be almost 2 years at this point.
Okay.
Every time you take a shower.
So that kind of answers what I was going to ask then, because there's this constant stream of things that are in self-improvement books like Atomic Habits, where it almost feels like self-improvement then in itself becomes the hobby. Like not actually becoming a better coder or learning languages quicker. It's just optimize my morning. Like, for what? Like optimization, obviously. Where I don't want to then, for myself, fall into this spiral of just constantly trying to make sure that everything is at max efficiency, where I didn't know if that was the cold shower thing, is, gets you wake, optimized morning, you're out of the shower, you're running, you're ready to go. Okay.
No, I am not a peak performer in any metric. I don't know what the right answer to that is.
Well, like I watched a video of somebody critiquing self-improvement, and he said that he would rather battle through life with a dull sword than stay inside making sure that he's forging the sharpest one possible. Where, I've read some of Atomic Habits. I've read a few self-help books trying to find some like pragmatic, do this specific thing. And it feels like there's just going to be this endless list of everything that I could do just a little bit better.
Yeah.
And it turns a blind eye to then these, chunks of wasted time where that's really what should be focused on is, who I'm spending my time with, not do I have the correct milligram to the milligram of caffeine in the morning. Like, I need to fix these big issues where I feel like everything is just fallen into this depth of making sure every little thing is just perfect. And I didn't know if that was the cold shower thing was, it's got to be this amount of warm shower and then bam, cold shower. And now Nathan's ready to attack the day.
Not at all.
So, okay. Yeah. It sounded like that is almost the opposite of where it's like making yourself do something unpleasant to give yourself some confidence boost of, okay, I can do this at will. I didn't like that.
Yeah, it's one of the few things that are almost physically painful, but it's not actually hurting you. Mm-hmm. It's kind of rare to like, I think working out is one thing. It's kind of pain adjacent. If it's actually painful, you should probably stop. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like cold exposure is a version of pain that's not actually damaging your body. It's helpful.
I have heard interesting things where he said it's good for you physiologically.
Yeah, absolutely. That
with Wim Hof, he's mentioned, I think, brown fat. If that's something that you've heard about, and I'm pretty new to hearing about it, but briefly looked it up the other day, and it seems to be different from white fat, which is what we normally think of fat as, where white fat is it has these long lipid chains, whereas brown fat will have much smaller lipid chains and be very dense with mitochondria. And mitochondria has a lot of iron, so visually it looks darker. So hence the name brown fat. It's just brown. And that gets activated to, like, the thermogenesis of it all starts breaking down the glucose when your body's just about to start shivering. So if you take a quick cold shower, if you do an ice plunge, you do this insane stuff that Wim Hof does, in theory, that's activating this brown fat to start very quickly breaking down glucose and really warm you up much faster than the insulation of the white fat, where the white fat is just insulating.
It's just insulation. But the brown fat is doing something.
Supposedly.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I heard that was like a theory about Wim Hof, that he was able to like run a marathon in freezing cold because of higher levels of brown fat that he's gained over time.
Well, there's got to be something. There's got to be something.
Because most other people that do those things would die of frostbite. They would literally lose their hands and feet, and he doesn't.
Right. I mean, and he'll do it literally in shorts.
Yeah.
In underwear.
Yeah.
There's got to be some connection between like the hormone release of like stress and this panic of like, I'm feeling this cold, where he can just stay in that supposed sweet spot of right before shivering, where that brown fat stays apparently keeping you as warm as he can manage when he's doing these freezing cold things.
Right.
So there's probably more merit to cold showers than just the mindset of it all. So that's probably a great practice. And I didn't mean to come at you for like, you're trying to optimize your morning.
Oh, no. I mean, again, that's like a critique, calibration sort of thing. Some people need to optimize more. Some people are in their house sharpening their sword for 10 years. And, but yeah, I would agree with that quote that if I had to err on one side or the other, you got to err on the side of action with a dull sword. Because at the end of the day, the point of a sword is to use it, right? And the point of our lives is to do stuff. So yeah, definitely balance is necessary, but if you have to err on one side, I agree. Just go do things.
I think, well, it's great that you read Atomic Habits and applied the practical steps in there. Because for myself, it's very easy to think of watching a video or reading a book as that act in itself is the progress. Not then extending that to an actual applicable thing in my life.
Yeah, it's so tempting. I just love to watch YouTube videos and learn stuff that I'm never going to use. Right. And my brain's like, good job, Nathan.
We learned
something today. Very productive. No, that's not. Easy trap for sure.